Well, at least it means that for both of us, both of our favourite films to talk about this week both star a Ryan, as it turns out, with you as Ryan Reynolds, and mine is Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. In just the film I need for my time. In this case, it's The Fall Guy, which annoyingly isn't doing very well at the box office, and I'm really mad at that. It's really not doing well. And
oh dear.
Which really speaks to it, because like the main industry that has been constantly
like I'm not
overlooked.
like really like a dude for action and stuff like that, but I would have absolutely gone to see that.
Both me and my partner were really tempted to go and see it twice at one point, where we're just like, let's just go and watch it twice. We haven't, because time and life and stuff like that. But I absolutely would have gone to see this twice, because this is already, I think, second only to Dune Part 2 for being the best film of the year.
Oh, really? Right.
Which I was worried for, because the trailers looked brilliant, but it was also doing a kind of like Argyle thing where they're on constantly, and you're just sort of like...
Yeah, I mean, from the times I've been in cinema, that trailer has always played, and I'm just like, you're kind of just shoving it in my face a little too much here.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I needn't worry, to be honest, especially now when a couple of days ago I watched Bullet Train for the first time. Never watched. I wasn't gonna bother with that for a while, just because, it just looks stupid, frankly. But that one's
That's
also
one way
actually.
to put it. It just looks stupid.
Well, to be honest, this one is actually really brilliant as well. So David Leitch is 2 for 2 on the ridiculous stunt action movie blockbuster. What the hell are we doing? Thingamajiggy Bob probably has like a
good
better
description.
name. Yeah, slightly, but yeah. So I mean, in the case with The Fall Guy, so it is loosely, and I do mean loosely, based on a TV show from the 80s, also called The Fall Guy, starring Lee Majors. You've got Ryan Gosling as a stunt performer who semi-retires after a back-breaking incident and ends up coming back into the fray when his ex-girlfriend, played by Emily Blunt, is directing her first feature movie, and it's this big nonsensical sci-fi action romance thing that's just so stupid, but she really wants it to work, so you're just sort of like, yeah, you know what, that's actually quite endearing, to be honest. And despite there being like another subplot surrounding Ryan Gosling's character having to search for the lead actor who's gone missing, so they send him to go and do it because he is the fall guy. He is the guy that no one's going to look for because no one remembers his face. Yeah, because no one will recognise his face, and he's like, there's like a little bit taken with that, to be completely honest. Plus you're saying that to Ryan Gosling. I'm like, wow, you bastards. Like, especially when you look at the fact that he's the stunt performer and the lead actor is Aaron Taylor-Johnson. I'm like, usually that'd be flipped, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, yeah, you've got that entire subplot with him looking for this actor and everything's just going from bad to worse. But what really sells the film is the bit that I wasn't expecting to see. This is me saying this. Is the romance between the two of them. Between Gosling and Blunt, not Gosling and Taylor-Johnson. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, it's a good thing you corrected that there. I'm thinking, well...
Yeah, that would have been a very different film. I mean, they have some great moments together as well. You know, that's just a thing. But what really sells it is that romance. Like, they are just, it's just really sweet. And there's this great scene after he comes back to set because he thinks that she wants him to do the stunts. She has no idea that he's actually going to be there, so she's kind of furious. And there's a moment where like she's like, you know what? I really hate that he's here. I'm going to make him do the stunts, but I'm going to make him do some stupid stunts just out of pure spite.
The really dangerous ones.
Oh yeah, such as having like a massive shootout and he gets set on fire. But she makes him do that constantly and constantly claims...
It's like, could we get another take? There wasn't enough fire.
But they have this really hilarious argument with one another over megaphones. By the way, on the set, so there's all the crew and the people dressed as aliens there, and she's like reeling off all this stuff about the romance that's in the script, about these two like star-crossed lovers, and it's supposed to in reality just be her being really angry at him, and they're just constantly having this back and forth. And you just see at one point, this is one of the aliens who's just sort of like we all feel like a third wheel right now, in like the worst way possible. Yeah, but even that, like the film within a film thing, like there is so much filmmaking lingo that's thrown around, and there's me just sat there just like, I know that one, I know that as well.
Yeah, I bet you're feeling really full of yourself, weren't you? I mean, granted, what that means.
I mean, granted, you know, we never did any stunts in like the short films that we did. We
kind of did, if you count our cameraman like nearly losing his arms carrying a like however many kilograms worth of camera equipment down a spiral staircase.
I mean, Scott is very similar to Ryan Gosling, I suppose, in that sense. Very, very similar. But it is that core relationship between the two of them is just the best thing in the film, and the thing I wasn't expecting to see. That being said, of course, you come here for like the action sequences, which David Leitch used to be a stunt performer, and you can tell because everything just looks absolutely brilliant. Like there's just this really long chase sequence with Gosling being stuck in a skip that's being dragged along the road, and it is utterly nonsensical, but they just really sell it. And he's also looking after this dog that he remembers from a previous film set that obeys commands in French or something like that. So occasionally when like the goons are coming down, he just shouts at the dog in French and he just starts attacking it. And it's just beautiful. It's just the best cinematic dog since The Voices.
It's a shame that it isn't doing too well at the box office. I mean, I saw like this I don't know if it was like IMDb or something like that, but you know, like films that are, you know, doing well in the box office. I mean, surprisingly, but not really surprisingly, it was Strangers on there. Then there was The Fall Guy and some other ones as well. I think it's just whatever's... Planet of the Apes as well, obviously. Like, recent-ish stuff.
Well, I mean, Planet of the Apes is definitely doing way better. I mean, the budget for The Fall Guy was between 130 and 135 million quid. Well, dollars. And it's made just under 130 million. And I'm like, oh, that's half of it gone. Like, that being said, this film isn't trying to, you know, start a franchise. It's not trying to like set up a load of sequels.
It just sounds like it's its own thing. It's not really designed to be like one of these things where like you end it, it's like, oh, a sequel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the bit that was, I think the only issue I had was the subplot surrounding him looking for this actor, because at first you just sort of sat there thinking, you've kind of just got this in because you've probably run out of ways to have everything set on set, which is weird because I'm more than happy to watch that, but general audiences maybe not so. But it's not until about the halfway point when that subplot really kicks into gear, and by the end it's like, this is actually really hilarious, to be honest. This is really, really great. Yeah. And it's just like an ode to filmmaking, especially to stunt performing. It's really bad that this film isn't doing very well.
It is a shame that it isn't doing too well because, as I mentioned, that like even though I'm primarily a horror guy, when I go to see something in cinema, it's because it's a horror film. But I always think, you know, I would happily go see that if I had the time to. So it is a bit of a shame that it is doing a bit in the box office. So hopefully it'll pick up.
Well, I mean, if it can somehow make another 130 million in the next couple of weeks, it's probably not going to happen.
Damn. Yeah.
At the same time, though, I mean, it's not gunning for a franchise, so that's kind of better. But at the same time, we're now going to get less films like this because the studio will look at that and think, well, no one's interested.
Studios look at it and think, well, you know, I mean, look at trying to remember what other films are on that box office thing. I mean, Planet of the Apes, you know, franchise. The Strangers, now franchise. So it's like, well, we're not really interested in doing films just on their own. We want it to be part of something else.
And yeah, fair enough, this one is based on a TV show, but 98% of the population going to see the film do not know about the TV show. Yeah, I mean, like,
it's news to me.
Yeah, I mean, like, there is a great cameo from Lee Majors at one point, and that is actually kind of cool, but again, it's like, it's not it works as it is, because I mean, I've never seen the show. I'm never going to watch it. I'm not interested. I only want to go and see this because the trailer looked really fun, and plus, after seeing Ryan Gosling in Barbie, I'm like, you know what, this guy has some bloody range, especially when it comes to comedy. Like, it was a bit like realising that Chris Hemsworth is actually a hilarious person, so putting him in comedies is actually not a bad idea. You could do that with Ryan Gosling as well, and it works, and Emily Blunt, well, I mean, it's just kind of funny how you have, like, the love interest of Barbie and Oppenheimer in the same film, and that still didn't do it. I'm like, come on. Well, you know, it's better than Barbie. Barbenheimer. But no, it's a real shame because this film is just absolutely terrific.
Yeah, well, it's good to hear. Yeah.